Well, the young women who were kidnapped by at least one of the brothers Castro, maybe all three, time will tell. I mean, we're still figuring this stuff out. The stories are dribbling out about people in the community. Not, the initial, the one fellow who was interviewed, he was like, "Oh, I knew the guy. I used to have barbecues with him. I had no idea." But there's other people who said, "Yeah, there was that time I saw that naked girl crawling around in the backyard in chains, and I called the police. And there was that time I saw that little girl with the baby up in the window yelling at me or waving at me, and I called the police." And the police are saying, "We never got those calls," and it's getting very confusing there in Cleveland. And, I'm sure on Cleveland Talk Radio, the big topic is, is the police chief covering his butt, or are people coming forward with stories just to get, their name in the press so that they can, some of the press will pay for stories. This the old British tabloid. "Oh, here's $10,000. Give us an exclusive," and then boom, it's on the New York Post or something. I don't know if the Post pays for stories or not, frankly, but you get the point of how it works. So you've got these two sides basically alleging malice on the other's side. And we'll see how that all shakes out. But the thing that I find interesting is that during this era, this post-9/11, post-Bush era, when our police departments are being flooded with money for high-tech equipment, for machines that create such a loud squeal that it knocks people down to their knees, pepper gas, mutant ninja turtle outfits so that they can, basically terrorize neighborhoods, super SWAT teams, something it pretty much didn't even exist 30 years ago, where now, at least once a day in America, a door is kicked in and a house is invaded by police, and it's the wrong door in the wrong house. This happens several hundred times, 400 or 500 times a year in the United States. During a time when so many of the high tech and our police departments are ordering drones, and the New York City Police Department has a giant nerve center with 12 giant flat screen TVs monitoring television networks all around the world with simultaneous translation by translators who are watching looking for. I mean, this is New York City Police. While all this is going on, the Department of Justice, just the good old Department of Justice, the DOJ, came up with this program a few years back, and I'm not sure exactly when it started, but it's been going for a while. 60 Minutes did a piece on it a couple of weeks ago, actually. It's called the COPS Program, Community-Oriented Policing Services. It started in 1994. It started during the Clinton administration. Thank you, Shano. And this program, which the Republicans in Congress in the 2012 budget cut by $119 million. This is the good old-fashioned cops on the streets. Remember Clinton saying, I put 100,000 extra cops on the street? That's this program. And what it is literally beat cops. I mean, it's just like being out on the street. It's none of this high-tech stuff, none of the drones and all this other fancy stuff. I mean, they talk about, their mission. And, the whole point of, what it is, what this COPS program is. And there's three parts of it. Number one, community partnerships, which, by the way, the goal is to increase trust in police. So, you have community collaborative partnerships between law enforcement and local organizations to help develop solutions to problems and increase trust in police. Organizational transformation, changing the way the police department's running so it's more involved in the community, more interwoven in the community, less insulated from the community. Increasing transparency, increasing organizational structure. and problem solving. And the bottom line of all this budget has been cut by 75% from 2010 to 2012. As I said, it was cut $119 million last year, 14.4% by Republicans in Congress. I'm guessing it's probably being cut more right now by the sequester. But you just have to wonder, these young women who have been missing for 10 years, if there had been cops on the street, like in the old days, I mean, back when the cops used to just walk the beat and you knew the officer's name. Oh, yeah, that's Barney Fife. Hey, Barney, how you doing? And people would be more willing to say, I saw something kind of weird the other day over at that Castro house. Could it be that the conservative efforts to destroy Bill Clinton's community policing program, COPS program, one of the first things George Bush did was, in the Bush administration, was roll back that, Clinton's 100,000 extra cops on the streets. Like I said, we've seen a 75% cut just in the last couple of years. Could it be that if Clinton's program had been in place before Clinton put it in place, and it had continued in place up until now, that this guy would have been nailed a long time ago? Or that these young women would have been found a long time ago? It seems to me that we have a real problem in the United States of our communities and our police being disconnected from each other. And, I mean, we give lip service to I give lip service, I guess I'd say, to, the idea of, it's our government, it's us. But increasingly, it's becoming remote, which fuels the fans and fuels the fires of conservative paranoia and the whole Glenn Beck, Alex Jones thing, and government's coming to get you, and government's of them, and the 44% of Republicans who think maybe armed revolution is what we have to do next. And this was a genuine effort by the Department of Justice to reverse that remoteness. Shouldn't we be, and maybe this can be a wake-up call. I mean, there's a lot of issues that you can spin off from this, whether it's, Elizabeth Smart talking about her experience, and we mentioned that yesterday, to the whole slut-shaming, misogynistic culture thing, which we talked about extensively yesterday. But the more I think about this, the more it seems to me that, there's always going to be sickos in our society. There's always going to be sociopaths. This guy, this man or these three men were clearly sociopaths at the best and just plain old evil at the worst. And I'm of the opinion that community policing may have gone a long way toward preventing this kind of thing, and I don't understand why it is that conservatives are so opposed to community policing and so gung-ho for high-tech policing, unless it's just that they're being funded by the big, the war machine companies that sell the high-tech stuff to the high-tech cops.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
Like the whole war room and the SWAT teams in New York City and the rapid response and all that involves millions of dollars worth of equipment. Maybe that's why the Republicans are gung-ho for it.